chapter 25. With someone like you, oh girl, I'd be so true. Hurts me deep inside, seeing how he makes you cry. The gig at school was going amazingly well. Little Band had become the band of choice at all school parties. They had a loyal audience and were still affordable. Little Band were doing a rhythm and blues themed show with hits from the movie Blues Brothers, hits from Elvis Presley's early career, and, of course, John Lee Hooker. The atmosphere was great, and Jenny and the rest of the band were at their best. They were more attuned than ever, and Jenny's confidence had grown a lot the last few weeks. Anyone could see that the band members knew each other well and had fun together. Keivan had even asked Jenny not to dance so intimately with him during his guitar solos when his parents were in the audience. Keivan's parents were not there tonight, but Peter was. With the eyes of a trained photographer, he saw that the members in the band had a tight, strong connection. When he watched Jenny's energetic, happy face on stage, when he listened to the love songs she sang with full focus on the audience, a strange feeling grew in his stomach. The time Little Band had spent together to get as close as they were now was the time Jenny had taken away from him. The closer she got to Keivan and the others, the further away she got from him. It had been a long time since they had taken one of their nightly walks, talking about life and the world around them. Now they only had hasty meetings, trying to do as much as they could in the little time they had together. Suddenly a bright mental neon sign blinded him. She's pulling me into her stressful lifestyle, smothering my freedom. All I do is wait for her. My ideas are pushed away or put in a sometime maybe box. As Peter stood there, watching Jenny receive the applause for the last song, he saw his mother. His good, ambitious mother who wanted everything arranged according to her and society's rules and expectations. Not only did he see his mother, but he also looked at himself and saw his father. His adventurous, tireless father who had to adapt to his mother's life, to Jenny's life, and slowly shrivel up inside. With a jolt, he turned around and quickly walked towards the bar. "Hi, good looking, remember me?" The girl in front of him was tall and slim and wore a top so tight it revealed the contours of her nipples and her belly button. Peter vaguely remembered a 500 note he had turned into a 100-krona one. "Shall I buy you a drink?" He nodded absent-mindedly and, for some reason, put his arm around her waist. When Jenny came out of the dressing room half an hour later, the first thing she saw was Agneta's horrified face, then Cecilia's smirk. Only then did she see Peter and Lisa. The drink had turned into two, and Lisa sat in his lap with her arms around his neck. He still had his arm around her slim waist, his hand under her tight top. Jenny stopped short. She felt sudden nausea, but managed to push it back. For a moment she almost panicked. She couldn't breathe. The lump in her throat was too big for any air to pass. She smiled faintly at Agneta, but when the feeling of nausea returned, she had to rush to the ladies, where she pushed the queuing girls to the side just to throw herself down and puke. She threw up beer, peanuts, and her dinner, but the lump in her throat remained. Jenny had no desire whatsoever to leave, but the knocks on the door from increasingly annoyed girls forced her to get up and go back. She washed herself with cold water and tried to compose herself. "I have to get it together. He can do what he wants with whomever he wants. He hasn't promised me anything. I have to shape up. I must not make a fool of myself. I will not make a fool of myself." When she came out again, she desperately searched for Agneta. She needed her now. At that moment, she heard familiar notes from the piano. Another Elvis song, but a calm, melodious one. She looked at the stage. There, in the dark, Keivan was playing. He looked straight at her, with a sincere and tender look in his eyes. Even if the mic was turned off, the words reached her through the noise. "It hurts me to see him treat you the way that he does." Music. Music would save her. She could sing along with him instead of making a fool of herself. She could hide in the music. Within seconds she sat next to him, and when he started singing the chorus, she joined him. When her strong voice joined his, the buzz in the room turned silent and all eyes turned towards the couple on stage. But if you ever tell him that you're through, I'll be waiting for you. When the song was over, she stayed next to Keivan. While the applause showered over them, she hid her face towards his chest and asked him to hold her tight, very tight. Peter, who had grown tired of the by now drunk Lisa, put her for the third time on the chair next to him instead of in his lap. He had heard when Jenny had started singing. He had heard the intensity in her voice as she sang, "If I Had Someone Like You," and had looked at Keivan. He saw their affection as she sat like a kitten in his lap. With a careful but determined push, he moved Lisa away so he could get off the chair, away from the party, away from Budgården, away from Gothenburg. It was time. It was beyond time. Jenny didn't see him go. All she saw was Keivan's chest moving with controlled breathing under the white shirt that her mascara had blackened.